morning, Nigeria. It's Monday, the 12th of January, 2026, and the political temperature is already rising. I am Samson Balogun, and this is Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television, where power statements are questioned and authority is held to account.
And I'm Oluwayemi Adelaka. The line making waves this morning comes straight from the heart of the federal power structure. Minister Nyesom Wike says, President Tinubu can sack me if I can't offer anything again. That's a bold statement, loaded with loyalty, confidence, and political calculation.
Exactly. In a system where power is rarely relinquished quietly, such words invite scrutiny. Is it bravado, reassurance, or a strategic message to both allies and rivals?
In a moment, I will bring you the breaking news tracking the key political and national developments shaping Nigeria as the week begins.
After that, we'll turn to newspaper headlines and analysis, cutting through the rhetoric and reading the intent behind today's front pages. Joining us is Afolabi, a public affairs analyst.
And for a big story, accountability meets controversy. Serap versus INEC, the 55.9 billion naira election funds controversy, public funds, electoral credibility, and the demand for transparency, all under the spotlight. Well,
it's going to be a very big one. With us for that conversation is Nyesom Wike, Deputy Editor of the Nigerian Tribune, bringing context, facts, and clarity to a debate that cuts to the core of democratic trust.
And we'll round off with trend tracking the conversations Nigerians are having online and on the street.
Interestingly, it is Monday morning. The statements are bold. The questions are necessary.
This is Daybreak Live
on Dominion Television.
I like that. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
And Happy New Week.
Happy New Week. It's a brand new week, actually, but the stories are not slowing down.
At all.
It's a very bold statement from Nyesom Wike to say, look, if I've got nothing to offer, let the presidency kick me out of office. But then in the part of the world where people rarely leave office on their own accord. Usually, I've seen people where, especially leaders across Africa, it's either because the people no longer want you, and then there is an uprising, then you get kicked out of office. In some cases, it is even death that pushes African leaders out of office. They rarely, even when there are a lot of allegations against you as regards whether you have mismanaged public funds and things like that, that originally in a Senate climb that I usually don't want to say would push you out, in fact, push you out of office. You have to resign by yourself and then invite people, the necessary authorities to investigate you. But in Nigeria, nobody does that. Even when at the height of it all, nobody really says anything about stepping aside. But Nyesom Wike is saying, if I have nothing to offer the presidency, then let them kick me out of office. The question now is, what does Nyesom Wike bring to the table? Is it competence in his office as the Minister of the FCT, or it has a political undercurrent? Oh, he's got relevance in Rivers State, and the presidency will be contesting an election in 2027. They need every hand to be on deck. That's what I'm thinking anyway, because there are a number of people that are eminently qualified to be Minister of the FCT. Let's say, for example, the President decides to rejig his cabinet tomorrow morning. A lot of people can be moved across, let's say, the Minister of Power, for example, Adebayo Adelabu, can actually be moved from power to maybe finance, because that's his area of specialization.
Just like what Oyo State did at the time.
At the time. So anyone can be moved out of any position. Last week, I think, the SSG to the Oyo State government was actually asked to go home. Someone else was asked to, replace her. And then in one way or the other, people are taken from one ministry to the other. And then some of the ones that were moved from their ministries no longer have a portfolio. They have been told to go. So, in the case of Nyesom Wike, he is openly inviting scrutiny. That's what I see. So, in his office, while some people will say, quite a number of people will say in the FCT there has been a number of changes, it's brought a level of competence to what they are now saying in the FCT, save for a little bit skirmishes here and there. But the truth is, they say it's been doing well, to an extent well. But then politically, what does it bring to the table for the president?
Honestly, when I read that statement, I was not shocked actually, because knowing the kind of person that Wike is someone that will always say his mind. He doesn't care who is going to roll his eyes or not. So I think he was in his local government yesterday on Sunday. That's Obiakpo, and I think he visited about 22 local governments in Rivers State, and he left out the local government of Fubara. You know, that was intentional because, I mean, how can you visit 22 out of 23? Maybe he doesn't just want to visit, you know, the local government. And he also said certain things that, you know, his appointer, if he thinks that he has no need of him again, he can actually sack him, because a lot of people are calling for a sack. You know, politicians, you know, a lot of persons, even from APC, even from, let's not even talk about PDP, I'm not sure. So a lot of persons are calling for a sack to say, no, this man is, you know, being excessive and all of those. But then I don't know where Wike is buying audacity from, and I don't think it started from 2020. It's been long. If
he's buying, that it must be a very expensive one.
Exactly, because, you know, for him to be saying that, okay, even President Bola Ahmed Tinubu can attest to the fact that, you know, he doesn't use, you know, singular for himself anymore. We've been instrumental to his government, and then he has a way of balancing both sides. Because at the time he was saying that, okay, you know, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu can say all that we are doing, and of course the people of Rivers State have enjoyed him to an extent, and they will give him his support. So he's neither, you know, fully here, not there. So I think the president is in a fix now, because, you know, he needs Fubara. He needs Wike, because the ordinary people of Rivers State will want to vote for Fubara. Why? Right. Because, I mean, he appeals to them. But Wike has been in the game for a long time. He has a lot of allies. So I don't know how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will play this game now, because, I mean, the House of Assembly is not on Fubara's side. Because how can, if you already have two-thirds majority that is against you, that you are a gunner. So it depends on how the president will now intervene in this matter. But then I don't know, Fubara is now very surprisingly calm, because he was at an event yesterday, and then he was trying to tell the people that, okay, everything is going to be fine, let's be calm. And then impeachment process is going on. So I don't know what is playing out, because, I mean, just came back from an event. And I don't know, some analysts have also mentioned the fact that maybe because Wike can see that Fubara is aligning with his enemies. Because if you watch it, you know, at certain events in the past, Fubara's event, you will see the like of Secondus, you see the likes of Peter Odili seated, and then maybe if Wike just say, hey, I actually, you know, allowed you to be in this position, and then you are trying to align with my enemies. And then Fubara will also not stop talking about this dog that is barking. He still mentioned it yesterday, so it's a lot to unpack. It depends on how the president will intervene in this matter, honestly.
Well, let me quickly allude to what you just said. You said Fubara has been, you know, not being with Peter Odili, who happens to be on the other side of happenings in River State, as against what Wike currently believes in. The truth is, Peter Odili is a long-term friend of the president. They've been there together. In fact, when they were governors, their tenures coincided. They were more or less like governors almost at the same time. So the truth is, one way or the other, Peter Odili still appeals to the presidency. A president who wants to win an election needs everyone to be on the same page. And in River State, is not looking like that. But then you can still have everything, even when they are not on the same page. You can work with Peter Odili, work with Rotimi Amechi if he's back in the party, or if he wants to support the president, or if he's going on his own ambition, fine. Sim Furara is still there. Wike can still work for the president. So the president will not, you know, cancel anyone out of the equation, because he needs everyone to win an election. The case of getting 25% in some places and then winning in some places, that's the current idea. And that is why I think the president has been able to poach most of the governors in the PDP to come join them in the APC. He knows that they might not likely win those states, but then they will get 25% of the votes and then win in some places, which will be enough to guarantee victory and passage into the next term in office. But the truth now is that as it stands, the president knows that a divided house in River State is going to work against him, because he won there in the last election. He doesn't want to lose places where he actually won before, but he wants to win in places where he lost, or maybe did not get required 25% of votes. And, you know, when you look at the permutation of how he became president, I mean the president as it stands, you know, people raise questions about 25% in some places, especially in the FCT at the time, that, oh, you did not get 25% in this place. Why? How did you do the permutation? But eventually everything went, you know, was swept under the carpet. But as it stands, Wike might just eventually become a liability, right? Because if you have a majority of the people and it's just Wike that is not there, Peter Odili still appeals to the people of Rivers State, whether you like it or not. Even if he's not in power, even if he has not publicly, you know, said anything about politics in recent times, he still appeals to the people. If he comes out and says, "Look, we are voting for this person," he still has his loyal people that will say, "This is where we are going." Sim Fubara is the sitting governor, and automatically, even if he cannot win Rivers State for the president, what I'm sure of is he will get him the 25% required. But then the president wants to win. So he wants to keep everyone in check. Fubara is calm because he knows that he has the support of the presidency. He knows that nobody will impeach him if the president says no. The only thing, the worst thing that will happen in Rivers again is to install another state of emergency and say, look, it looks like you guys, the National Assembly can actually take over the Rivers State House of Assembly and said, we are suspending every one of you. The NAS will now take over oversight functions of Rivers State. So he knows that the rule is not against him as the governor. And he knows that the president understands what is going on. It is Wike still doing this thing. That, look, if you are not on the same page with me, you have no business being the governor of Rivers State. He's done it before and might just likely repeat it. But I think the Rivers House of Assembly are still under the whims and caprices of the presidency. He knows how they eventually became members of the APC. I mean, their principal, someone they are loyal to, is still a member of the PDP, but he hits on the same table with the APC. He wines and dines with them. And that's why the PDP, they are very angry with him in Rivers State, even in Nigeria. So it's becoming a more of a complex situation. But I know that the only person that can bring this to an end is the presidency, just like you said. He might just bring all of them to the same table. The same way he did the last time that he reinstalled Fubara as governor of Rivers State. He might just do the same thing and say, look, this guy has just 4 years. And out of the 4 years, you have taken away 6 months, which means that in history, even if he wins the next election and becomes the governor of Rivers State for the second term, it will be there in history that he never finished his tenure in his first time. So 6 months is out of it. Why must you give him problem? And the moment you are giving him problem, automatically it means that he will not focus on governance. And if he doesn't focus on governance, who will bear the brunt? It is still the people of Rivers State. So the presidency knows what to do at this time. I just hope they do it on time before, the House of Assembly in Rivers State give Fubara more problems.
Yeah, I think you're very spot on. And to think that, Wike unpick certain persons and then deliberately fix them in certain critical, positions just for days like this. I think a lot of times Martins, that's the Speaker of the House, has said that, okay, our leader is Wike. Several times, and they are even, I think they belong to the same local government area. So away from that, now let's talk about the vote. You mentioned something about the vote now. When I read the story yesterday, we also mentioned the fact that Obio Akpo, in the last election, gave about 40% of the vote. Compared to, even mentioned that compared to some persons bragging about 5,000 votes. So he said, we are going to show them what we are capable of, using our vote. It's going to be a little bit tough. But I think the president now, I don't know what he's thinking now, because he's looking for a way to, favor Fubara and also, favor Wike, or maybe
he doesn't want to cross any
exactly,
of them.
Try to placate him, because I don't think even the president has, 100% of Rivers State to himself. We have the likes of Ambichi, who is out of the equation, who is now in the ADC. So I don't think he has 100. So he's now looking for ways to, at least if I don't have 100%, let me have some certain persons to myself. So good luck to Wike, good luck to Fubara in this case now, because I don't know how they're going to do it. And of course, good luck to the president, because he's the one that is contesting for election, honestly. So I'm very sure
he needs them.
Exactly.
And, he has to make sure that everything is in good shape.
And he's a very powerful politician, very strategic. I want to believe that he's thinking about what to do to make sure that this side is good and this other side is also good. And of course, the Rivers State people, I think they are the victims now, because a lot of things is going on. They are not even aware of most of these things. At the end of the day, they will have to vote, and of course, the vote will count.
Well, just like you said about Obio Akpo, before Nyesom Wike left office, he recruited 10,000 youths and placed them in some positions. The moment Sim Fubara came on board, he sacked him. So these and more are the reasons why this man is angry and said, look, I installed more or less like what you call a structure. And then the moment you came, you demolished it. And he doesn't know exactly why, but then he might likely know why, because he mentioned, and I will still repeat, he said if Fubara wins the election, the second term as governor, he's going to bury him politically. I mean, if Nyesom Wike says someone is going to bury him politically, he knows exactly what that person is capable of doing. And don't forget that Fubara has been with him for some time. He knows his modus operandi. He knows how he operates. So he might just be the right person to, demolish all the structures in cases he has.
Honestly, and I think Fubara defecting to APC was the game changer. Yeah. I'm not sure Wike saw it coming. But then what do you expect of Fubara? Because the PDP as a stance is, and I don't want to call any name now.
Even Fubara
he's going through a lot. So where do you expect him to go to?
PDP couldn't save him when he had crisis. And the only person that came to his aid was the president. So there's no point staying in the PDP when he has the opportunity to align with the center. And every governor that moves to the APC will say, oh, we are aligning with the center, oh, we want to bring more dividends of democracy to the people. But hey, Oyo State is not aligning with anybody. Oyo State is still PDP. But they got 50 billion naira. I mean, they got 30 billion according to the governor anyway, for the bombings at Bodija. And, you know, they are not even an APC state. So I want to believe that it's not really about where you belong. It's about how you are able to negotiate with the power, you know, that be in the country.
But I think that there's some, you know, leaders, some governors now, they are not in the APC, but they have like a close relationship with the president. Because at the time, don't forget that even Governor Makinde said that, you know, he had some meetings with the president, and even the president mentioned to him that he should help organize, you know, the APC or your APC at the time. So I think he said it, you know, several times that he worked for APC in 2023. And so maybe it's because of those, I don't know, really.
And that will be something that really angered some people, because if you had a closed-door meeting with someone, especially the president of the country, nobody expects you to come spill the beans outside. And the governor did exactly that. He came out and said everything and anything they said behind closed doors. Some are really angry that happened, especially public commentators said, look, this is the president. If you had a one-on-one conversation with you, that is not meant for the print. But if there are details that are meant for the print, not because you are angry. If you are angry, there are things you still don't say. But that really cooled the relationship they had. I don't think there's ever a way. Well, no permanent enemy or friends in politics, and the only thing that matters is interest. But then I don't think there is a way they are getting back together to that level of relationship they had before, that the president had to trust him with the APC and said, look, help me reorganize APC in Oyo State. I don't think that is ever going to happen again. But for other states that are also enjoying a cordial relationship with the presidency, Charles Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State also is of ABGA, but he has openly declared that, look, whatever happens, I'm with the president. Same with Alex Oti, who over time people have asked questions about, oh, what is your relationship with the president? He said, it is cordial. So people like that will always come and say, we are not a member of their party, but we are aligning with the power at the center. So it's always fine when people...
Honestly. And speaking of Alex Oti, he's going through his own phase of opposition, and because there was a meeting where, you know, past governors and senators, you know, came together against him for 2027, but he has called them noisemaker. And good luck to Alex
was
Oti.
there. Oji Okalu was there. He said so much about Alex Oti. He said he was just repainting roads. I mean, they are not
even
of good quality.
He was there too.
Was also there.
And of course, I think whatever it is that is going on between Wike and Fubawa now has given Governor Makinde time to rest for a while. But I don't know, Fayoshi might wake up on the wrong side of the bed tomorrow and decide to release some secrets, and then we start all over again.
Well, we'll see. Before the next, in the couple of months, we'll see people still coming out with fact, details, and say, look, if you think I'm wrong, just sue me. Let's go to court. Exactly. That was what Fayoshi said. He said, I'm the only one that has no immunity, and you have the opportunity to take me to court. And they are similar,
Fayoshi and Wike. They are
so just take me to court. We'll see what will happen in the next few months.
Definitely.
Let's take further report on the show this morning.